What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Lineup NBA DFS podcast and live stream, recording for Wednesday's 10-game main slate. James, it is a doozy. We have quite a lot of games to get to. We also have some big injury news here. Nikola Jokic and health and safety protocols going to be out of this game here, of the slate, so we're taking away one of the top-priced options. We got Luka and Giannis, once again, up over $12,500. Giannis at 12.6. Luka at 12.7, coming off a back-to-back. You got Tatum and Curry up over 10K, so a lot of games to get to, a lot of pretty interesting matchups as well.
Yeah, and everyone, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow the YouTube channel, whatever platform you listen to, whether it's iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. Give us a nice review, give us 5 stars, all that jazz. We'd really appreciate it. We appreciate all your guys' support as well. But yeah, another interesting slate. Luka in a great spot coming off a back-to-back. First time we haven't seen the Joker in the lineup for Denver this year, even though he's dealing with the wrist. So that's obviously going to be a big talking point today.
Yeah.
Huge slate. I mean, we've kind of been living in like the 5 to 6, 7, 8 game range, I would say, for like the last week. And now we got a lot of games to talk to. This is the most expensive price tag we've seen Jason Tatum, the most expensive price tag we've seen Steph Curry.
Jason Tatum is the betting favorite right now for the MVP.
I don't doubt that. I was speaking to my father yesterday. I was giving him a layout of the NBA, and I said, I think Jason Tatum has officially entered the top 3 best players in the NBA. I'm still in belief that Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best player in the NBA. I think Luka is behind him, but I think Jason Tatum is number 3. I don't fully buy what the Celtics what that TV prompt said, where it said Jason Tatum's a top 5 player in the NBA, and he's not 5, 4, 3, or 2.
Right.
I think he's closing in, and I do think if they do win the East, he's probably going to win the MVP. But we haven't seen this price tag for him at 10.9 all year.
What's elevated him this year, and we talked about this, I think, going into the opening week, was Tatum said during the offseason he worked on getting stronger because he wanted to get to the hole more, get to the rim, and we talked about it. This is going to help him on nights where he has bad shooting nights. OKC, he goes 9 for 23 from the floor. He goes 8 from 10 from the line, though, and he goes for 27 points. Old Tatum last year, who was taking 5 free throws a game, when he goes 9 for 23, he's only scoring 20 points that night, right? Like, he's not going for 30. And you look down some of his recent games, sure, he was lights out there for a good stretch, but you have 8 for 23, 8 for 21 here, and he still gave you 59 and 66 points. Why? Hit a 17 free throw game against Chicago, right? Like, 8 of 8 from the line from Cleveland. So to elevate your game in the NBA, you have to do something else when the shot's not falling. And for him this year, he made that commitment to go to the free throw line, and it is paying off in spades in his production and keeping him a top fantasy player. And like you said, now in an MVP conversation. So interesting to see that development and evolution in his game there.
Yeah, and it's, even just recently, like 10 free throws, 11 free throws, 6 or 6 to 7, 16. Like, he's really taken on that role, especially lately, where it's elevated his game, and he's been great. And it's a pretty good spot against Atlanta, who has some pretty good point guards on their team, Jeff.
They do. They are priced at $9,700 and $9,600 over on DraftKings. Luka is your top price guard at $12,700. Can you get to Luka at $12,700? I'll let you guys make that decision again. It is just an incredible spot for him. But he played 40 minutes last night, and this is a back-to-back. I mean, I know Luka has put up some big numbers in back-to-back situations before, but this is a pretty interesting spot for him here, given the matchup. But that's a lot of minutes. It shouldn't have been that bad. They were up big in that game against the Clippers last night, and allowed the Clippers come all the way back in that one. So we'll see. We'll see if it's worth going to a 12-7. Yet Curry here against Phoenix. We don't know the Chris Paul status yet. Curry obviously caught in that blowout against San Antonio. Only played 27 minutes in there. We're never going to tell you not to play him. He's just playing too well at the moment. But 10-5, again, a little bit of a hefty price tag, because there are a lot of guys here under $10,000, notably Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at $9,400, that I think we're going to look to gravitate towards on this slate.
This dude is amazing. I don't know what else to say. I don't know.
Speaking of free throws, 9 for 9, 9 for 10, 11 for 13, 7 of 7, 10, 11 of 11, 10 of 11. Like, get to the free throw line, guys out there. Like, it's going to just boost your production.
Dude, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has 37, 37, 20, 39, 33 points his last 5 games. He's scoring 31.5 actual points per game. He's very good in the passing lanes, 2 steals per game. We know he can pass, even with Josh Giddey playing well.
Not just the steals.
Yeah, the blocks.
Look at the blocks.
It's insane. He 1.5 blocks per game, as you mentioned. Like, the guy does it all. He is going to win some type of award. He is going to be on some type of All NBA team this year. Like, and we're kind of continuously saying it that he should be a 10K plus player, and he's not. And until that point, and he probably beyond that point, like, there is upside for days. He's gone for 59, 63 the last 2 games, like against the Knicks, against Boston, and now gets a Thunder team. This is a 228 total, or a Washington team rather, 228 total. It's only a 4.5 point spread. Washington getting Bradley Beal back, which only helps him because Bradley Beal, you know, much better of an offensive player. Gotta love this spot for him. Again, it's just like, you can play Luka. No one's going to tell you not to. You can play Curry, but it's a tough spot. You can play Trey and DeJounte. They take away from one another. 235
game total in that one, too, by the way, for Atlanta Boston.
Ooh, that's juicy. It's just tough to, like, and, you know, like, Trey and DeJounte can go off, but, like, they clearly eat into one another's production.
Yep.
Nobody's eating into Gilgeous-Alexander's production. Nobody. I know Josh Giddey's there, and, like, he's a good player. Doesn't matter. He's not cutting into his production at all. I am perfectly fine getting to SGA in all formats. I mean, he's a 10K player who's not 10K, and we got to take advantage of that.
Yep. This Indy-Charlotte matchup is also pretty interesting here. 233 game total. Opened at 231, so it's being bid up. A 2.5 point spread. We have Halliburton here, who's questionable with an ankle sprain at $9,300, the highest that we've seen him all season long. But we have LaMelo still under 8,900. I mean, still under 9K. Again, we talked about it the other day when he was 86. Like, he's not going to be 8Ks for long. He's going to go up. 37 fantasy points in 34 minutes against Orlando. Not great for what his price point is, but this is a much better matchup than for a lot of teams this year going up against Indy has generally been. So, again, in tournaments and GPPs, like, I'm fine throwing LaMelo out there. Another bad shooting night for him, but he's taken 24 threes in 2 games. So, again, like we talk a lot about with these other guys who just chuck threes out there, there will be games where he hits 5, 6, 7 threes and he pops off. So I don't mind the 8,900 in tournaments there. And I intentionally skipped Garland just because I wanted to talk about ball there, but Garland getting overshadowed because Embiid went for 100 on the same day that he went for 70. So 51 actual by Garland there. We've been telling you forever he was too cheap. Look at that price bump. 69, 69, 74, 72, $9,000.
Yep.
Which is where he should be. It's just that now we have to pay a real pricing point for him. And I don't know. Do you like 9K against Milwaukee here for Garland?
I don't know. It's probably Donovan Mitchell contingent. Mitchell practiced on Tuesday, so they're considering him a game time decision. We'll see. If Mitchell's out, I can get there. If Mitchell's in, though, probably not, especially if Drew Holiday comes back, because if Mitchell – see, I'm probably out either way, because if you think about it, and if Holiday comes back and there's no Mitchell, Garland's getting Drew Holiday defense the whole game.
Yep.
I mean, so I don't know. I think we'd have to have the world where there's no Holiday and there's no Mitchell for me to, like, really be interested in Garland. I would rather just play LaMelo Ball, I think, at 89. I think the fact that LaMelo Ball has taken 36 shots in 2 games and the 24 threes, as you mentioned, and he's doing everything peripherally that we knew he would. The shots are going to fall, and he's going to go for 50 fantasy points at too cheap of a price tag. So.
Yep.
I like LaMelo Ball.
Would you play McCollum assuming Zion plays tonight? I think there was an expectation that he was sitting last night on the front end of that back-to-back. And they were hopeful he would play tonight on the second night of the back-to-back. Obviously, CJM, 51 fantasy points last night. Thoughts here against Chicago for him?
I think Zion would have to be out for me. But we mentioned it. Like, he's been great peripherally. He just has been missing shots. Like, it's another case of a guy with a long history of 20-plus points per night that had just gone through a rut and had been good everywhere else. Hits shots, hits 7 threes, and look what happens. He's in every winning lineup imaginable across the board. So he was the guy without Zion that gets the biggest bump in usage rate. Brandon Ingram still led the team, but McCollum got the biggest bump. So if there's no Zion again, perfectly fine going back to McCollum. I think it's a good spot. Bulls have not been great defensively. So if Zion's out, I'm in on McCollum. If he's back, I'm probably out 8,200 on a 10-game slate where New Orleans just divvies up their entire usage rate, and who knows who's going to be good on a given night, right? It's tough to get to. So I think Zion would have to be out for me to get to McCollum.
All right. Mid-tier guys here. We may have Van Vliet back. We'll wait and see, but he's got that matchup against Miami. Chris Paul at 76, if he's back, that's kind of interesting. The assists have been really strong for Paul there this season. Scoring's been down a bit, but again, it's a pretty good price point, I think, for Paul in that matchup if he plays or not. Brunson on a back-to-back at 71 against Denver. He looked really good last night.
Sure.
I like Giddey. Obviously, at 67, I think it's a good spot for him as well. Any other mid-tier guys for you?
I mean, Jamal Murray stands out just without Nikola Jokic. And
gets the guard matchup we like against the Knicks as well.
Yeah, the Knicks defense has been terrible. They were decent against Utah. I think Utah let us down. Largely let us down.
Clarkson was like 3 for 12 from 3. He just missed
it was
everything.
brutal. Yeah, it was brutal. But they're not a good defensive team, and now they have to guard Denver on a back-to-back. There's not a large sample without Jokic because Jokic is their team, but there is a 56-minute sample for Jamal Murray without Jokic. Sean, he leads the team in usage, 38.6%. It is
all that foul trouble Jokic has been in lately, right?
True. 11.6% usage bump, which is unheard of. But 1.13 fantasy points per minute, third on the team. That's all elite stuff. Jamal Murray, 65. We've seen him score 50 in games. We've seen Jamal Murray be as good as it gets offensively at times. Yeah. So I'm going to play Jamal Murray 65.
Murray and Mitchell had that ridiculous playoff game against each other.
Yeah, that series in general was insane. I don't know if I'm ready to call him a core play, but if I'm not, he's as close as it's gonna get.
The fact that he's playing over 30 minutes for me probably puts me in. And there's no Bones Highland tonight either. So
no, so Bones was upgraded.
Oh, he got upgraded. Okay, I thought
he was upgraded to questionable.
Okay,
yeah, he did, and then they upgraded him to questionable. He is in protocols. Okay, he's upgraded to doubtful. So I guess he's been in the health and safety for the last 2 games, upgraded to doubtful. So you're right. Tentatively, he's not playing, but the upgrade status does put him, I guess, on our radar a little bit more than it was.
We are getting some breaking news here as we record, obviously live here on Wednesday. Paolo Banchero ruled out again tonight for Orlando, and Wendell Carter is a game-time decision. They have a matchup against Minnesota. Wow. We'll obviously discuss the forwards as we move along here for a bit, but what are your thoughts on Jalen Suggs at 5,700 if those two guys end up being out of the lineup tonight?
Man, he's been bad.
The shots have been there. The shots are not falling. Have been there. The shots are not falling.
Yeah, which again we've talked about a lot.
I mean, 20 fantasy points are going 1 for 10. So
yeah, he could do a lot. Let's see if we take Banchero and Wendell Carter off the floor. Let's see if there's a sample. There's not a big sample, but 29% usage rate in a 40-minute sample for Jalen Suggs is pretty good. So 5700.
That'll open up some favorites of ours. Chuma, Mo Bamba, Bol, right? Guys like that will be a little bit more interesting. Granted, again, this is a Minnesota front court that is bad, but good or tall.
Should be good.
Whoa,
Should be
better.
good.
Like,
Should be
yeah.
better. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Sucks for tournaments. Regardless, sucks for tournaments.
Yep.
Is the play.
Do you have any interest in these Houston guys against Dallas?
No.
I
Carter don't
didn't
typically
go through shoot around as the most recent update. So.
Okay, interesting. I typically don't play people against Dallas.
Yeah, neither do I.
I didn't play a single part of that game last night. There was nobody in the winning lineups that I saw, so it's not like a great spot. Dallas is slow. They are good defensively. It's a no for me, dog.
DraftKings waiting no time raising the price on Delano Banton there, $5,100. So we'll see whether or not if
Would you pay it if Van Vliet's out?
He only played.
He still only played 25
minutes.
I know. He needs to have an absolute ceiling game.
Yeah, dude,
again.
He came out firing. Gabe Vincent's still 4,500 and Hero's already out. So I'll just play Gabe. I'll just play Gabe at 45. Why they don't move Gabe Vincent ever? He just sits there at $4,500.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Derek White played 33 minutes. Again, no Brogdon. He's 4,900. I don't hate that.
Brogdon
upgraded question mark. We'll see. If Brogdon's out, I don't mind White at 49.
Yep, agreed.
Let's see. Anybody else get a bump for you here? What did you make of Dwayne Washington off the bench the other day? Just caught hot? Is that all we're looking at there?
Yeah, he did that last year in Indiana too, where like he came in and just made shots and they just kept him on the floor. I think it's hard to get to. I don't think there's anything else.
Okay.
Like the unfortunate part about Toronto is that if Van Vliet's out, they split Malachi Flynn and Jeff Dowden's time at point guard. So like both of them played 15 minutes. I think that's like kind of the expectation again, like they'll split and that also cuts into Banton's time. So tough to really like that situation. Nick Nurse went from playing everyone 48 minutes to 12 guys, 25 minutes. So
yeah.
Tough to really get behind that. And I don't think there's anything else. Nembhard's minutes went down last game. Dragic still playing 22 minutes and getting you 20 fantasy points, if that's what you're into, but
right.
Nah, nothing else for me.
All right, let's go on over to the shooting guard position then here. We talked a little bit about it. The Atlanta guards already, Donnie Mitch. Booker, if there's no Paul, we're going to be in on that against Golden State. Jaylen Brown, another really strong game for him. Price is still in that upper 8K.
Still going up, dude.
Yeah, but again, 46, 47, 44, cash game viable.
Yeah, more cash. I wouldn't say there's much tournament appeal for me. At this price, but cash games is fine.
Yep. Mid-tier guys. Anybody else for you in this upper 7, mid 8K?
If Ingram is without Zion, I'd go there. He is the highest usage player, but obviously McCollum is the one who caught fire. Bradley Beal coming back from COVID, I think he's fine. We just saw, the Thunder give up points in bunches, so I can get to some Bradley Beal. 8,300 is a good price. Rozier is in a good spot. He just hasn't been that guy since the ankle injury, like since the return. Like he's not really doing a lot. I think the return of ball is going to hurt him peripherally. Below 8K, Anthony Edwards tournaments always.
Yeah, I mean that's a ridiculous price for him now.
Yeah, ridiculous. There's no reason for that.
Needs again another guy that just like isn't hitting shots. So, but you got to love the secondary stats there. So.
Yeah, surprisingly,
yeah,
we're getting 6 and 7 rebounds because who they have theoretically should be grabbing 24 to 25 rebounds a game.
I like. Would you rather Edwards or Levine?
Levine.
Yeah, Levine's great.
He's
too free
making shots, and yeah, this is a guy we're typically paying 8K for.
Yeah,
at least we have in years past, and. Doing it a little bit defensively here too, John.
Good cash game play. Good cash game play for Levine, but also has 40 plus upside even at the spot with everybody active. So I like it a lot. Franz, obviously now knowing kind of where we're at, he just continues to be a strong play. Again, I know this Minnesota front court, but Towns plays no defense.
None.
So yeah, I think we can run out.
They're 18th in defensive rating, Minnesota.
Yeah,
so not exactly, and they're
with like one of the defensive players in the league, supposedly, right? So
Yep, fifth in pace, 18th in defensive rating. Good recipe for success there.
Yeah. You playing Buddy at 68? If Halliburton sits, maybe?
Yeah, if Halliburton... I mean, I like Halliburton playing because Buddy gets set up so much, like there's so many actions that Buddy runs off and Halliburton's always looking for him. And
I guess McConnell would start, right?
Yeah, I guess that would be TJ McConnell, who we definitely have to, pay homage to. He's a good fantasy point per minute guy when he gets time.
Yeah. What's his price?
I almost prefer Halliburton being in for Buddy Hield.
Yeah, McConnell's 3,400. He's
he's definitely, if he's starting, he's definitely in play. And we'll know 7:00 game. We'll know early.
Yeah.
I will play Hield if there is Halliburton. How about that? Because
Okay.
I think there is correlation there. I think Hield is helped by Halliburton's passing ability.
Okay. Let's see, more guys in the mid range. I guess Levert, if Mitchell's out, we'd have some mild interest in.
Yeah, he's been largely disappointing, but in theory, he should be fine, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Let's see here. Marcus Smart went for 41 with Tatum and Brown against OKC, which is kind of interesting.
Marcus Smart having a year, dude. He's having a good year.
Yeah, went for 50 without Brown, but then he went for 41 with Brown. So
he's having a good stretch of games, I should say. Other than the Denver game, that he fouled a whole lot, wasn't on the floor a lot.
Is this the first meeting for Golden State Phoenix since the Klay Thompson rings comment to Booker?
First since the rings, yeah. He was terrible in that game, but. Yeah. Have you heard, like, the Devin Booker conversation is so funny because he was like, I love that podium. Like, yeah, he just told me he has rings. What can I say? Like, what do I say back? It's like, yeah. But I don't know.
Clay's 57. So.
Clay's been pretty bad.
Yeah.
Overall, he's been quite bad, actually.
Let's see here. Anybody else? Any value shooting guards?
Maybe some KCP. No Jokic.
I just clicked on
likely no Highland.
It could be something. Yeah.
I
guess if Highland's out too, we would go Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown for sure. What is Bruce Brown's price? Where is Bruce Brown?
He's a point guard, small forward, I think.
That is a interesting.
Point guard, small forward at 5,100. It's already playing over 30 minutes the last two games.
It's been good last two games.
Doubles. Jesus.
Were those games without Highland? Did Highland play? I don't think Highland played either of those. So maybe the correlation is there already.
Sure.
Right? Like, is Bruce Brown? Yep, both games Bruce Brown's at. Is Bruce Brown a core play?
51. It looks good.
With no Jokic, no Highland. He's been super good without Highland, and now there's no Jokic.
Is this is this a day where we play for 4 Nuggets? You throw Murray, Porter, Brown, and whoever the center is.
Aaron Gordon, by the way, has been. No, we're not playing DeAndre Jordan.
No, I didn't say DeAndre Jordan, did I?
He's going to be their center. You said whoever their center is.
You don't think it's going to be Zeke Naiji or something like that?
Zeke Njai?
Njai, yeah.
I mean, like, I think DeAndre Jordan needs to, like, they need to remove DeAndre Jordan from this rotation.
Aaron Gordon's price, 5,800 for Aaron Gordon. Also questionable though.
Aaron Gordon questionable, huh? So I was just looking at the numbers, and Aaron Gordon, although Jamal Murray leads in fantasy points per minute, and let me rephrase. Jamal Murray leads in usage rate. Bones Highland leads in fantasy points per minute.
Sure.
Aaron Gordon's second, 1.16 fantasy points per minute without Nikola Jokic this year. So
is this a Jeff Green day?
Oh God, we're Jeff Green and DeAndre Jordan. Is this 2013 all over again? Like,
could be Christian Braun. $3,100. Christian Braun played 26 minutes.
Yeah, Christian Braun's a good little player. Very low floor.
Yes.
So we have to
first round pick, right? First round pick?
First round pick, very, very low floor, at least from what he's shown this year, very low floor. So I like KCP, I like Bruce Brown, I like Jamal Murray. I think you and I are gonna obviously love Michael Porter. Coming off his monster game. But Aaron Gordon definitely interesting. And then, what happens with Aaron Gordon is interesting because he has the questionable tag. So his is a non-COVID related illness.
Yeah.
Somehow he he caught an illness without catching COVID, even though two of his team members have COVID.
Yeah, who knows?
Interesting.
Yeah, who knows?
But
I will say Michael Porter, by the way, at $5,900. Just like
it's stupid. Yeah, no, it's
stupid. Sign us up. We love him anyways. But now you can tell me maybe no Gordon, definitely no Jokic today. Like 25 shots gonna go MPJ's way here, I think. So they'll also be like 40% rostered on a 10-game slate because that's the way these things have been going. So all right, top of the small forward tree here. Tatum's at 10-9. Can you get there? Can you get there for Tatum?
Probably. You need 55 for 5x, 54 for 5x. And he's done it twice in a row. 2 double-doubles in a row. Big minutes.
Big total, 235.5.
Yeah, huge total. It's obviously a price we're not accustomed to seeing with Jason Tatum, but we're talking about a top 3 player in the NBA, top 5 if at worst, right?
Been better on the road this year slightly as well.
Yeah, so yeah, I could get there. Is he my priority spend? I don't know. I don't think so. But also when you look at the spend ups, there aren't really priority. Like I think Luka's very hard to get to. Giannis is in a very tough spot against Cleveland.
Yeah.
Steph Curry's in a tough spot against Phoenix. Other than like above 9K, like SGA would be my favorite.
I've been pretty consistent this year, being like, I don't think you need to pay for that guy unless there are very clear ways to get to them. More often than not, there's 9K guys giving you 50 or 60 points right now,
right?
That you can throw into that lineup and get improve yourself. So Tatum, again, if you want to get there, fine. Game stacking Boston Atlanta is gonna be very hard to do because all those top guys are super expensive. There's not a ton of value there. DeRozan's price is dropping a little bit. He's still 8,100, but it's better than 9K. So
yeah, you just need the scoring ceiling, right? That's like the only time he gets there. But when you look through his box scores, he has 5 games of 30 or more actual points this year. Only 5, which is surprising. 5 of 14. So I mean, pretty good rate, almost like a little better than 33%. All those games he's done well in, except one. 4 of the 5 he's gone for 40 plus fantasy points. He has not gone for 40 fantasy points in a game where he hasn't scored 30 actually.
Right.
So can it happen against the Pelicans? Sure.
Yeah, it feels like a good game spot for it, right?
Yeah. It's a good spot. The total 226.5, 3-point spread. Everything lines up. Like New Orleans on a back-to-back. So yeah, I think it's in play. But it's tournaments only because the volatility this year he's not the same as he was, at least right now. He did go on in like the stretch he went on last year was in the middle of the year where he went on that like historic run of 30 plus.
When I said like he was worthy of being in an MVP conversation, and Fensty yelled at me for it. So
he was. No, he was. I mean, the Bulls had so much injury trouble last year, and DeMar DeRozan was never hurt.
Yep. OG at 72. You swore off Barnes at 78 on Twitter the other day. So
I mean, what am I wrong?
No,
like
I agree. He's not.
A neat, like, very talented player, and I'm sure he can get you to 40 fantasy points, but like, he can't really get you much further. So there's just no upside there.
Yep, no arguments. Again, OG, I am a fan of here at that price. Against Miami too. I think he had some good games against them. Nah, maybe I'm wrong. Guess it was. I thought he had better numbers against in that Miami.
There's also Siakam was there. Van Vliet was there.
Maybe I'm confusing Siakam for OG.
I think Siakam had.
Siakam had the monster games.
Yep.
Let's see. Going down more to the mid-tier range. Again, we're just gonna plug in Porter. I'm just gonna hit him now. We're just gonna throw him in that lineup. We're not gonna
5,900.
Definitely not gonna not play Kevin Porter.
Michael Porter.
Michael Porter. Kevin Porter. We're not playing Kevin Porter. We're playing.
Not playing Kevin Porter. Definitely playing Michael Porter.
Let's see. Other small forwards. I mean, if Chuma starts, like he starts anyways, Paolo's out. Would you run it back? He was so sad the other day.
Yeah, he let us down. You and I. But you know what? Like, he's typically better peripherally. Like, he had 2 or more assists in 3 straight games. He averages 4.5 rebounds. He only had 3.
He shot enough. He just didn't hit the shots.
Yeah, he just. I would consider it. I'm probably more inclined to get there if there's no Wendell Carter.
Okay.
because then like Bull can't take his minutes. They can't go big with Mo Bamba and like take Chuma off the floor. So like,
what does that Orlando team look like if both of those guys are out? So Wagner, Bull, Suggs, Chuma, Bamba, and then they go down to Ross, Hampton, Houston, Schofield, and Harris.
Yep. I mean, it's the starting five is going to play a lot in that situation.
Terrence Ross actually isn't probably a bad option if Carter and Paolo's already out.
Banchero's already out. 30. He could see 30 minutes. Like
right?
there's a chance he approaches 30 minutes.
I mean, that's a GPP play against Minnesota. He can just start popping shots. So
38 not the worst. 38's not a bad price tag. We're here at small forward, so
yeah. That's not a bad option. You get a 3-point bonus as well, just for some.
Probably it almost feels a little bit better than paying for Chuma at 53, right? Because they probably have like similar.
They probably go back to a more original looking starting lineup with both of those guys out too, right?
Yeah.
Right now they're huge. They start.
Right.
Right.
No, it's insane. That's a good point, John. I think that's a good point. Like you could see Ross enter the starting lineup. Honestly, if Wendell Carter's ruled out, I prefer Terrence Ross because I think they have, between him and Chuma, they have similar ceilings, and Ross is $1,500 cheaper.
Right. Yep. I think that's just worthy of the talk.
Good find there, John.
Jalen Williams played 36 minutes against Boston.
Started and played 36 minutes too.
So look at the recent games. Outside of that Knicks game where he played 20 minutes for no apparent reason.
Well, we hated. I mean, we talked about that game last podcast because we had the Knicks. Like everyone was just like benched in that game.
280 points and only SGA was good.
Only SGA played minutes, and Giddey. I think Giddey had like a big game too. I think they were the only two. They didn't play the bench the other day, by the way. Like OKC just kind of played the starters. Like it was a normal rotation.
Yeah,
Poku played 30 minutes. Yeah. Williams played 30 minutes.
There was no Trey Mann in this game.
And there's no Trey Mann again.
Right. So Jalen Williams at 39 against Washington, they like this kid. Again, the problem is that SGA is such a high usage player.
I know. That we need the prefs.
You really need either him to knock down 6 of 9 like he did, and then give you some things. But again, if you want to just, they're high on him. He's a scorer, so just big slate. You're looking for some value there. I don't have. Well, talk to me about Cam Reddish. Another good game for him last night. Only scored, though, right? 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 block, 1 steal. But he got you 19 actual. After 26 actual.
And he's $900 cheaper than he was yesterday.
And he's playing 33 minutes in back-to-back games. And, as we talked about on yesterday's podcast, Cam Reddish is good. I don't know. Or...
Good offensively.
Good offensively. He used to be good. Can be good. I don't know. But
I don't know.
Whenever we viewed him as an Atlanta Hawk, we thought he was a good player. So, 36. Would you run him? I mean, 33 minutes at 3,600. Would you run him back out there?
I would. Yep, I would. I mean, look, there's obvious downsides,
low floor,
but
right?
there is a significantly lower floor than most players, but it feels better today because he's under 4K. If he gives you 10 fantasy points, he is not killing your lineup. There is because he's 3,600 at 4,500. He gives you 10. We're, tough sledding, right? Sure. You're gonna have to have some really low owned guys to go off. But yeah, I could get to Cam Reddish 33 minutes. I mean, if he's had 3 big games this year, all the 3 games he's played big minutes. He's a high usage player at times, and Denver is without their man in the middle. They have Michael Porter is a bad defender. Jamal Murray all they have is Bruce Brown and KCP. Yeah. And Aaron Gordon. I'll give some respect in the defensive end too. But Denver's subpar defense. Where do they rank this year? I don't think they rank all too well. Denver is 24th in defensive rating. They're a subpar team this year. I think a lot of people they're 9-4, but that's because they are elite offensively. So, is Cam Reddish a very good value today, John?
He might be. I think
so.
I'll say the last name here at small forward I'll throw out, and it's all injury dependent. But Otto Porter's already ruled out. Gary Trent's still questionable. Fred VanVleet is still questionable.
Are you talking about the movie star?
I'm talking about the movie star. I'm talking about little Honcho Hernan Gomez.
Okay.
Played 24 minutes. Started the second half of that game. Gave you 20 fantasy points, 9, 6, and 3. If those guys are out, I mean, there is no Otto Porter, and there is no Precious Achua. There is no Pascal Siakam. Trent is questionable. VanVleet is questionable.
So if all 5 of those guys are out.
If Juancho is in the lineup tonight, because they were starting Otto Porter.
Right. Last 2 games, yep.
So if Juancho starts for Porter tonight, I would play him at $3,100.
Okay. I'm with you.
Okay. As long as we're on the same page. Power forward. Giannis is at 12-6 against Cleveland. I don't want to do it.
You don't want to do it?
No.
Again,
40 fantasy points back-to-back games for him.
It's one of those things. Yeah. Okay. But look at the two games prior, 68 and 63.
I don't want to do it.
Look, I think you and I are both in lockstep here. We don't have to do it, and I don't think we're going to do it. But if you're playing multiple lineups, let's say you're playing 5 lineups.
Yeah.
Let's say you're playing 10 lineups, right? I think the perfect example is my GPP from the other day. I played Luka 1 of 5.
Sure.
He goes for 80. You play Giannis 1 of 5. He can go for 80. You play Luka 1 of 5.
Yeah. Maybe Drew Holiday coming back is actually a good thing for Giannis.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, this is a tough spot.
Yeah. Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Kevin Love.
Oh, I think actually, do we have Jared Allen news? He's out.
Yeah, he's out. Jared Allen's out.
So
we didn't talk about Kevin Love. Kevin Love start, you think?
We're getting there. Good thing we're on power forward.
Oh, we are on power forward. Kevin Love, 29 minutes the other day.
Did he start? Did we get that was the Sunday slate that I think you and I both took off.
Yeah. Football time.
It was football time.
We do a live stream on Sundays. We can't be looking at basketball.
True. That was the Timberwolves game, correct?
Yeah. Revenge.
True. Kevin Love did start 29, and so did Lamar Stevens, who we didn't mention, but 15 and 6 for Lamar Stevens. Chetty Osman 28 minutes.
Mitchell was out of that game, so I guess if Mitchell's out, they start Lamar. Is that what they do?
Yeah, they'll start Lamar Jackson Stevens. 15 and 6.
Don't really want to do that. Don't really, but I guess we have to at least consider it.
Yeah, I think it's a consideration.
Love is much more of the play. At 56.
Oh yeah. Dude, Kevin Love is it doesn't matter how old the guy gets. He is an elite fantasy producer.
It's him versus Brook Lopez, right? Two centers that sit at the arc.
Yep.
So only Love is not afraid to rebound. So
back to Giannis. I think this is a good. He's obviously going to draw Evan Mobley. Like they're not going to put Kevin Love on this guy.
Correct.
Which is a tough matchup, but because I think Mobley's going to win Defensive Player of the Year awards, multiple probably.
At some point, yeah.
But he is the most destructive force in the league since Shaq. He could obviously give you 70 fantasy points and you wouldn't bat an eye. So I think the discussion is if you're playing one lineup, you're probably not getting to Giannis. But if you're playing multiple lineups in tournaments, it's not the worst idea to have a share or a couple of shares of a guy who can get you 70 to 80 fantasy points.
Can you play Towns against Orlando here if they're missing their starting front court? 9,100?
GPPs.
Okay.
Went for 55 last game, right?
Yep.
I don't. There's no way you can play him in cash, but you can play him in tournaments.
Buckets has been good.
He has been really good, and Tyler Hero's already rolled out.
Yep.
And we're getting the complete package, Jimmy Butler, where he's just dominating. They needed this though because they don't have a tradition. He's playing power forward, so they need him to be the guy who's grabbing or approaching double-digit rebounds every game. So
I hate the shot attempts, but again, they don't need him to. I guess if he's going to double you in rebounds and assists,
he does though on nights where he has double-digit free throw attempt upside in his bag too. So had 15 free throws just 3 games ago. That's in his repertoire. So
yeah, if they need him against Toronto, he can certainly take over a game. 9K, don't mind it there. Randall against Denver. Thoughts there? If they're down both Jokic and Gordon potentially here tonight. I mean, not that Gordon matters, but athletic guy. But
Tournaments.
yeah, down spot against Utah last night for him could be a bounce back play.
Yeah, no one's gonna play. No one's gonna play him.
Yeah, probably can't run it back with Kuzma with Beal back here.
No, probably not.
Let's see. Bulls at 63, as we talked about, could be interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting if Carter's out because he can be more traditional with like power forward center, and he's been playing minutes lately, right?
Mm-hmm.
All we want is minutes, knock on wood. All we need is the minutes from Bol. And there's tremendous upside. And especially, dude, if he's hovering around the rim more, where he's guarding a Towns or a Gobert, like there's 5 block upside for this guy. Like he is insane blocking shots. He is like the lengthiest player you ever see in your life. So it's like if he's not chasing small forwards around for, and there's no Wendell Carter and we see Bol power forward center, I think I'd like him more just because he's going to be hovering around the rim with all that block.
Yep, I don't mind it. I like Boucher. I like Struss. Both of them are fine. They're playing a bunch of minutes.
Shout out Nick Nurse for the only thing he's doing correct is playing Chris Boucher minutes.
Seriously. If Aaron Gordon's in, I'll play him at 58. I hate Aaron Gordon with the passion of a
breaking news.
But
Aaron Gordon is John's favorite player of tonight's slate.
Absolutely hate everything about Aaron Gordon. But if there's no Jokic, you have to at least give him some consideration, I think, obviously. Just he's a warm body. It's going to be out there without the best player on the floor. So
big fantasy. Look, 1.16 fantasy point per minute. 40-minute sample, sure, not a big sample, but we saw the foul trouble game and he went for like 50 fantasy points. So
yep. Do you know what version of PJ Washington shows up today? Because I don't.
I don't ever know what version of PJ Washington is going to show up, so I just don't play him.
Okay.
But it is a really good matchup, and I think Charlotte, outside of LaMelo, probably goes vastly underlooked.
Yeah, I mean, Chalk center played today. Probably Miles Turner.
Probably, but how many minutes is Miles Turner going to play today? That's another question that I don't think anybody in the world can answer.
26 and 27 minutes the last 2 games. Foul trouble, definitely 4-4, 5-4.
The last one, dude, that's the last game there was no foul trouble because I had him.
You had him
in my sweat, and there was no foul trouble at all. They just they kept him out in the fourth until like the 3-minute mark. Like, why are we not playing the first 9 minutes?
So this says Turner was charged at 2 fouls in the first minute of the third quarter and didn't play for the rest of the third.
So and then didn't play. What is the fourth quarter run?
He came back in the fourth and pulled down 6 of his 11 rebounds. That's what it says.
Okay.
Well, popcorn machine it, but this says he picked up 2 fouls in the first minute of the third quarter.
Okay, maybe then I'm wrong. Then I retract my previous statement.
It was my Steven Adams play from last night. 3 fouls in 3 minutes. Guy didn't play the rest of the half.
Yeah, that was brutal.
How do you get 3 fouls in 3 minutes, Steven? What are we doing? One of them was offensive. Like, how are you committing offensive fouls? It's a moving pick, but still, like, come on.
John, you know who I'm ready to be heartbroken by?
Poku?
Alexei Pokusevsky.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great price for him. Played 37 minutes.
Dude,
never trust he's going to play 37 minutes.
He's so good. He is so good on a fantasy point per minute basis. Yeah. He is so good. Look at these minutes, the last 4 games, and then look at the fantasy points. He is a freak.
Yeah. It's too bad we don't have Detroit on the slate because I would have liked some Jalen Duran today, but tomorrow, I guess.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Do you run back with Thad if he starts again?
I was gonna ask. I don't know.
48 now? 48?
He was in foul so this I know there was foul trouble in the first half. And he played like 8 minutes in the first half because of it. All of his damage in the second half. Right. He was great. I don't know. Maybe I think we'd have to have Trent and Van Vliet out just for like any shot upside to be there because he's already. I mean, he had the 10 shots against Indiana, but only 4 against Detroit. I don't know. I feel like there has to be just like nobody there for that to be like productive.
Dorian Finney-Smith hit 7 threes last night.
I'm happy for him.
Okay. Would you play Patrick Williams? 43?
Probably. Like he's been pretty consistent. I think there's been a pretty good floor. He fouls out of the Boston game. I could see myself getting there.
Okay.
But like I'd also like
Larry Nance at 42.
Yeah, Larry Nance gets like a huge price bump or price reduction. I'd probably rather go there because we know, like, he's just playing over Valanciunas. Like, he's playing more minutes than him. So
he's so efficient.
Yeah, he's so efficient. So efficient. He's just very good. Like, just a very good all around basketball player.
Yeah. I got no other small power forwards here. I don't know if you are.
Lamar Stevens is here.
Yeah,
Chetty Osman both.
A little bit.
Chetty and Lamar.
Jarvis Sims did play 25 last night. I asked you about him.
Straight foul trouble.
Yep.
Hartenstein picked up 2 fouls, I think, before the game even tipped off.
Sure.
He was on the bench.
All right, let's go to center then. Finish this one out here. Zinger is the only one we haven't discussed yet as the top of the center group here at 84. Bam is questionable apparently due to a knee contusion. Maybe Dwayne Dedmon finds his way into a rotation spot here for Miami if he's ruled out. Don't know if we have a lot of interest in that or not. Just throwing it out there.
Dwayne Dedmon also questionable for.
And they don't have Yurt 7, who plays center for Udonis. Does Udonis make the lineup tonight?
or Highsmith or Udonis.
Yeah.
Something named Jamal Cain. He's in the.
If Bam is out, I think I like Butler even more.
Yeah, Butler's close to a core play, I think.
Right. Vuk all the way down to 73.
You know what? I mean,
I get the recent production, man, but like,
it's so.
Why did he play 23 minutes? Is that a blowout? Just a blowout?
Drummond
back. Yeah. Is that what they're doing now? Just giving Drummond. All right. Well, wild.
I mean, Drummond had 13 and 11 in 22 minutes last game.
Dude, didn't he have a 50-pointer already this year?
45 fantasy point game in 22 minutes.
Yeah, I mean he's a baller. He's shooting threes now too. So like it's.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Thanks. Thanks. I mean, you're right. Like the Vucevic price,
it's so cheap,
makes you want to play him in tournaments, and that was the exact thing one of our subscribers, I think it was S Penny, said in Discord yesterday about Jonas Valanciunas. Is like his price on FanDuel was like 6,200.
Yeah.
No Zion. It's like makes you want to play these guys because we know what they have been and can be. And I don't think Vucevic is on Valanciunas' level yet because Vucevic is going to play minutes where like they just don't care about.
Yeah, they just don't play
Valanciunas anymore. Like,
which is wild because he is so dominant when he gets 30 minutes. It's been like his whole career. You give him 30 minutes and he gives you like 25 and 12. You know.
We're back to Toronto Valanciunas, and I don't understand it. So like, to your Vooch point, I'm okay with it in tournaments, but like understand that there is a definite letdown. Because what if I said this on this podcast? Since the Bulls formed the team that they formed, he is great when there is no Levine or DeRozan. When he is the third option, he is not great.
Right.
Like he is like just a rebounder, and that's it. He's like a good rebounder, and that's it. And both those other guys are playing, so like just be prepared to be let down.
Yep, that's fine. Again, Miles Turner at 69.
7K.
Yeah, he's 7K. People are going to play Turner, though. People are going to play Turner. They're going to play Turner at 69.
Yeah, well, the Charlotte matchup, right? Like just.
But if there's no, I don't even know how much that matters. But like no Bonkauer, no Carter, like Gobert at 7K could get 18 rebounds in this game, right? Like Orlando is.
He goes for 45 at 7K.
Yeah, they're not. Orlando is not an efficient shooting team. We know that. Nobody on that team shoots well. So, like, there could be a billion rebounds here for Rudy Gobert. My biggest problem, I guess, would be, like, if you take Orlando's two best players out of the lineup, like, what does this game even look like? You know?
Yeah, but we thought, like, Minnesota was going to blow San Antonio out twice this year, earlier in the year.
But we're learning that San Antonio, but that's because Vassell and Keldon actually were good. You're taking the two best players on that team off the floor. Like,
that's fair.
Does Franz and Chuma and Jalen Suggs and Bol, Terrence Ross like keep them close here?
That's fair. 6.5 point spread as it currently stands.
Yeah, something to watch. If Carter gets ruled out, I bet that goes to like 8. Still like Turner a lot more. Capella is kind of interesting at 64. I think they're going to have him on over 30 minutes in back-to-back games. With Horford out there, they're going to have Capella out there. Even with Okonkwo active, he played over 30 minutes.
Yep.
Insane rebounding. We've talked about the Boston's allowing the 4th most rebounds to the center position this year.
Yep.
Jokic was just in foul trouble the other day, but he came back in and grabbed a bunch of rebounds when he was on the floor. So I like this spot for Capella. And he's a putback guy, right? So, he gets 20 rebounds. He's putting back 6 of them offensively. So, I don't mind this Capella spot at 64. Still like Turner more, but don't mind it going down there. Any other centers for you here? Would you play Horford on the other side?
I said it the other day. I thought he was too cheap. And he's been good lately.
Yeah. Malcolm
Another
Brogdon
revenge
closer
spot.
to doubtful, by the way. Just updating now. So
Who is?
Brogdon closer to doubtful.
Okay. This is another revenge spot for Al Horford. He's making his rounds right here.
Yeah.
Revenge spot against OKC, revenge spot against Atlanta. He's been good, dude. Last 5 games, 6 games, 26 or more fantasy points.
Yeah.
3 of the last 4, he's been over 30.
Old man Al hitting his stride right now, you know?
That's really good value, though. 5,700.
I agree.
I think a lot of people would go to Plumlee at this price range.
And Love, probably.
And Love. Right. I think a lot of people go to Plumlee. I think a lot of people go to K-Love. People love playing.
Plum Dog's been real good, huh?
Yeah, Plum Dog has been real good. I think a lot of people do love Evan Mobley enough to where they'll play him without Jared Allen.
Okay.
I think Al Horford is just absolutely the forgotten man at this price point.
Okay.
Absolutely the forgotten guy.
Bamba's your value play, or are you worried about Minnesota?
I mean, if Mo Bamba's feeling it, I'm not worried about nothing.
I mean, you called him out the other day, and you put him in your lineup, and he gave you 31 in 22 minutes. So
yeah, if there's no Wendell Carter, I'm in on Bamba.
Okay.
It's a tough spot, and he's definitely been better off the bench. There's no denying that. I think he's been comfortable in this 18 to 24 minute role. But we've seen Mo Bamba have some big time games when he's been asked to be extended. So I'm definitely in on Bamba. I think, again, just like Bol, put Bamba near the rim, and there's a lot of block appeal. So I'm definitely in.
Would you play the 3,900 Drummond?
Maybe. If you like the minutes. But it's very wishy-washy because Vucevic is the clear-cut guy, sure. I think. And if he plays well, Drummond's gonna play 12, 13 minutes. So.
Yep. No, I agree with that.
I think it's tough. I think it's tough to get to.
Okay. Anybody else for you?
No, I mean, you gave Sims his flowers. I think that was a good call if you believe Hartenstein gets in foul trouble again.
Sure.
Definitely could, because the Hartenstein, all he does is seemingly foul and rebound. I guess it is worth mentioning that old man DeAndre Jordan, who has looked absolutely horrible in every situation he's been on the floor for this year, will potentially start and play mid-20s minutes. He has one game this year where he's played 20 minutes, Sean, and he had a double-double. So, I really don't want to play DeAndre Jordan. I'm telling you now, he has looked terrible. Their defense looks terrible with DeAndre Jordan, the former defensive player of the year, right? He just is old and washed, and I want them to start Zeke Njai because Zeke Njai is a fantasy per minute guy. But it is worth mentioning there is no Jokic. Maybe they start Jeff Green at center.
They've done it before, right?
So maybe they start Jeff Green. I think it is worth noting that it might be DeAndre Jordan.
I mean, Green could start at power forward if Gordon's out. So
true. The unfortunate part is we're not going to know because it's 10 o'clock.
Right.
So if there is news that comes out early, it will be in the playbook. It will be in the Discord. It will be in our content. But we're not going to know, unfortunately, who's Denver is starting.
Right. All right, let's build our lineup. I got MPJ already in there. Do you want to go Turner at center at 69? All right, point guard Jamal Murray.
SGA.
I mean, we can play them both.
Yeah, we can play. Let's play Murray and SGA.
Okay.
Do you like SGA? I feel like he was
Of course, I like SGA. Of course.
Okay, good.
$5,300 for remaining shooting guard, power forward utility. We had some
Kevin Love at power
we
forward.
had some 4K guys we liked here. Who's some of the 4K guys that we liked?
Jalen Williams.
Oh, Bruce Brown, right? 51.
Yeah, Bruce Brown
fills in our forward
he's
spot.
power. Yeah,
Yeah, because Porter Jr. is only small forward, so that's $5,400 for shooting guard, power forward, and utility play.
Jalen Williams, if we want to play 2 Thunder, he is shooting guard eligible, or we could play.
Oh, Gabe Vincent is a guard.
Cam Reddish, 3,600.
Yeah. Okay.
Shooting guard.
Okay. Reddish. That's 63 for power forward and a utility play.
Caleb, Boucher, Pokashevsky, Larry Nance at 42.
Let's see here. 63. Was there any other spend ups? If we put buckets at power forward, it gets only 3,600. Do we have a 3,600 util play?
I think Terrence Ross is 38, or I would have said
Stevens
him.
is 35.
Just can't with the
DeAndre
uncertainty
Jordan?
of Mitchell.
DeAndre Jordan? Let's see. What if we did? We want to keep Bruce Brown in there, right? We don't want to dump Bruce Brown. All right, we probably can't get the buckets in. But what was Ross? I liked Ross. Ross is 38.
38.
So that gives us an 8,800 power forward. Randall, DeRozan.
I don't love that tier.
No, I wish we could get to Levine. Let's see. Levine's a shooting guard. 5K power forward. Thad against Miami.
I am indifferent because I think that is contingent on those other guys being in. So I plead the fifth on that, and then I'll let you decide who we're using.
Do you like Zach LaVine at 74?
Yeah, I like Zach LaVine. It's a good spot.
Let's see, was there any other guys in that range? I mean, Franz is 7K.
Yeah, so it's funny you said that because I just used Franz. Okay. I used Franz 7K and Kevin Love at power forward 56.
Okay, that works for me.
And then you could just swap.
What did you do? Oh, you use Reddish over Ross. Got it.
I used Reddish over Ross,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. Murray, Wagner, Porter, Love, Turner, Gilgeous-Alexander, Bruce Brown, Cam Reddish. Lineup we're running as our example here for the podcast. If you have any questions about today's content, Ryan Kirksey will have the playbook out. But we'll be in the Discord answering your questions and get us on Twitter as well. James and I will catch you guys later.